Welcome back. Last time we uncovered the tricks behind pirated software. Today, let's talk about the real dangers when you install these cracks. Maybe you've heard horror stories of computers being wiped clean by viruses or held hostage by ransomware. How do these nasty programs get onto your system? Well, often through the cracks you use to activate your software. And it's not just your computer at risk, but also your personal information and even your money. We'll dive into the dark side of software piracy and expose how these cracks can be more than just an activation bypass. They are often a Trojan horse for malware, allowing hackers to infiltrate your system and steal your data or hold it for ransom. Get ready to learn how to protect yourself from these hidden dangers. Stay tuned because in Part 3, we'll reveal the safe way forward. How to enjoy the software you love without falling into the trap of piracy. Let's start with the potential security risks. These cracks can act like a gateway for all sorts of nasty programs such as Trojans, ransomware, and spyware. But wait, what are the differences between them? A Trojan, think of it as a sneaky imposter that sneaks onto your system and hides its malicious intent. It might pretend to be a legitimate file, like an update or an installer, tricking you into thinking you're just installing regular software. Once inside, it can cause all sorts of damage. It might steal your passwords, spy on your activity, or even allow hackers to take control of your computer. Then we have ransomware. It's like a digital extortionist that locks up your files and demands payment to unlock them. Imagine you've got an important document or all of your personal files encrypted, and the only way to decrypt them is to pay a hefty sum to the cyber criminals who lock them up. That's exactly what ransomware does. It holds your data hostage and forces you to comply by threatening to destroy it unless you meet their demands. And finally, spyware. This is the sneaky type that spies on your every move. It can record your keystrokes, monitor your internet activity, and even take screenshots. Think of it as having someone constantly watching over your shoulder, logging everything you do. But why would anyone download something so dangerous? Well, sometimes people download these programs knowingly to cause harm. But often they are unknowingly installed through cracks or other pirated software. These cracks might seem like a harmless way to get the most out of your software, but they can actually be a sneaky entry point for malware. They can be modified to include malicious code that allows hackers to take over your system. And here's the kicker, they might even be made to look like legitimate files, tricking you into thinking you're just installing an update or a patch. But don't be fooled. These cracks can be more than just an activation bypass. They might be a one-way ticket to malware infection. But wait, there's more. These cracks can also create backdoors for hackers to sneak into your system. You can think of a backdoor as a secret passage that allows hackers to access your computer without your knowledge or consent. Once they're in, they can do all sorts of mischief like stealing your passwords, spying on your activity, or even taking control of your computer. It's like having a spare key to your house that only the bad guys know about. So if you use cracks to activate your software, you're not only risking your own security, but also putting yourself in a position to become a victim of hacking attacks. And now let's shift our focus to the performance risks associated with these cracks. Using software without proper licensing can lead to instability and frequent crashes. When you go around the official installation process, you might miss out on important updates and patches that ensure the software runs smoothly. Plus, without the protection of automatic updates, your system becomes more vulnerable to malware and exploits. It's like driving a car with a cracked windshield. You might get away with it for a while, but eventually it's going to catch up with you. You could face unexpected crashes, errors, or even security breaches. Additionally, running unlicensed software can pose legal risks. Copyright laws protect software developers' intellectual property, and using cracks to circumvent licensing agreements is considered copyright infringement. While the odds of getting caught might seem low, the consequences can be severe. You could face hefty fines or even legal action. It's like speeding on a road with a heavy police presence. Sure, you might get away with it sometimes, but the risk of getting pulled over and facing penalties is always there. And if you're using cracked software for professional purposes, you could even risk losing your job. Many companies have strict policies against using unlicensed software, as it can compromise the security of the entire network and damage the company's reputation. It's like playing a dangerous game of digital roulette. You might get away with it for a while, but eventually you could face serious consequences. Now let's hear some real-world stories that highlight the dangers of cracked software. In 2017, a cracked version of the Adobe Photoshop spread a particularly nasty strain of ransomware called cryptographic locker. This version of Photoshop encrypts your files and demands a hefty ransom for the decryption key. It's like having your digital files held hostage. Thousands of users who downloaded the cracked software ended up with their files locked down by this ransomware. It was a wake-up call for many that pirated software could be more than just an activation bypass. It could be a gateway to serious security threats. Another alarming incident occurred in 2014 when a fake version of Microsoft Windows used to crack software ended up infecting users with a Trojan horse virus. This virus allowed hackers to steal login credentials and spy on user activity. It was a breach of trust on a massive scale, preying on people's familiarity with the Windows setup process. These stories serve as chilling reminders that downloading cracked software isn't just about activating your programs. It can open the door to malware infections that can compromise your data, your privacy, and your peace of mind. Alright, so we talked about the risks. Now let's chat about the legal side of things. Using cracks can land you in hot water with copyright laws. Software developers work hard to protect their intellectual property, and using cracks to bypass licensing agreements is a clear violation of their rights. Just think about it. If someone were to walk into a store, grab a product off the shelf, and say I'm just borrowing it, it wouldn't be okay. It's the same thing when you download and use cracked software. You're essentially bypassing the payment process and depriving the developers of their rightful earnings. It's like using a coupon that says buy one, get one free when you only have one item. You're exploiting the system for your own gain. And let's not forget about the potential consequences. Using cracked software can result in hefty fines and even legal action. It's like speeding on a road. You might get away with it for a while, but eventually you could get caught and face penalties. Plus, if you're using cracked software for professional purposes, you could even risk losing your job. Many companies have strict policies against using unlicensed software as it can compromise the security of the entire network and damage the company's reputation. So if you value your hard-earned cash and your freedom from legal hassles, it's best to steer clear of cracked software. Support the developers, invest in your peace of mind, and go the legit route. After all, using genuine software ensures that you're getting a quality product that's supported by the creators. It's a win-win situation for everyone involved. Alright, so we've covered the risks and the legal stuff. Now let's wrap this up. Downloading cracked software might seem like a quick fix to activate your programs, but it's like taking a shortcut that leads to a dead end. From malware infections to legal troubles, the cons far outweigh the perceived convenience. Don't let your pursuit of freebies land you in a world of trouble. Instead, check out Part 3 where we'll show you legal, free, and safer alternatives to pirated software. You'll be surprised at what's out there. Until then, keep your software legit and your digital life secure. Thanks for tuning in and see you in the next video.